Okay, so let's go ahead and continue. Anyway, so we have this input field. It says disabled and it says disabled input. So what is the value of disabled input? At the moment it's false, so the input is not disabled. Henceforth, we can basically enter our text. So, tra la 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 la. Enter. It doesn't. Nothing will happen, of course, because we didn't configure any logic for that. But if we go into the app component and if we basically, it says disabled input false, and if we change this to true and save it, okay, wait for the page to reload. And this is what I want you to be doing. Basically, go ahead and change things. Change as many things as you want and as many things as you can and see what happens. So as you can see, we can, I don't know, type something in here. We can, well, we can't type into the other ones, but we can type in something here. But look, here where it says enter your text in the first one, we can't do anything. In the blue one, sure, this one no, and this one no. So the first row has been disabled completely, but this one we can type in whatever we want because these have not been disabled, but the input in the top ones has been disabled. Now, why has the input been disabled for all three of these? Right? We just wanted to disable it for one. What happened? This is something that's a little bit unpredictable. Well, not really. Look, all three of these are dependent on exactly the same variable. So regardless of whether or not it's a method here or whether or not it's just a Boolean value here, it doesn't matter. This method returns this Boolean value, so in turn it's the same. So these three inputs, which correspond to the first three inputs from left to right in the first row, their input has been disabled completely, and that does not work anymore. So if we change this to false and save it, just go ahead and wait for this to recompile. Okay, so now we can once again enter our text. Sorry, not test. And if we come down to this line, if you remember, I stated that I would explain what this is. So let me just reload the site quickly here. So this one by default is test. Why? Well, the value is equal to current user dot username. So this is we're still doing pretty much the same thing, property binding. So you can do that also for the value. And if the value of this field is current user dot username, that means that the value will be test because it will return the username. But then we have the placeholder equals to enter your text. And if we delete this, you will see enter your text appear. So that's what's going on here, these last two snippets of code. I just wanted to show you that logic and why is that there and what happens there. And lastly, we have these last two lines here where we explain some sort of coloration. So as I said, we have blue-bg, whose Boolean that we are binding to it has been defined here. Let me just see where it is. So is blue bg Boolean equals true. So will it be blue? Yes, it will be blue. So enter your text. How do we know that it's blue? Well, have a look around. We've stated that was the very first line that we have changed. It says blue-bg background color. It's blue. So please go ahead and change these things and try to change the colors. It should be fairly simple. I mean, just type in something else here and see what happens. In fact, let's go ahead and just green. Okay. I wish this was kind of faster. I gave 4 cores and 8 gigs of RAM, but it's still kind of slow. Anyway, it says enter your text, but now it's green. So these are the sort of changes that I want you to play around with, and don't just wait for me to tell you what to change. Go and change things on your own. I mean, what is the worst that can happen? You can just break the site, but who cares? You're just testing it anyway. So blue. You can do pretty much whatever you want there, play around with it and see what happens. What sort of results do you get? Okay, so going back here, it says down below style.background color, and this we're actually passing the name of the color that we want. So you see there's background color, and you can relate this to this. It says background color. So In this particular case, they don't have much to do with each other, but here you said style.background color, and then you assign the name of the color that you would like. So it's basically the string is equal to red. So BG color is our string that we are binding here, and it says BG color, so it's red. Therefore, this input field will be red. I don't know if I change it to gray. Let's see, will this work? Yep, it will. So as you can see, the field color has changed. Now it is gray. So that should be it. Yep, that is the last line. Anyway, once again, please change as many things as you can and then observe the effects of your change on the site itself. I'm literally begging you to do that. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and bid you farewell here, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.